we'll go ahead and get started. My name's Tyler. This is the Husker STEM VR project.
I'm Jackson Terman. I'm one of the developers on the team. So to start us off here, ours was one of the university-sponsored projects specifically by faculty in the School of Computing. Just some brief information in case you're unfamiliar. School of Computing offers 3 different degrees, all related to computing, those being computer science, computer engineering, and software engineering. It also offers a wide variety of courses for its almost 1,000 undergraduate and graduate students. And these students will go on to pursue a broad range of computing-related careers, which the school gives a lot of opportunities to learn about as well as give practical experience. A bit more specifics, our stakeholders include our sponsor within the School of Computing, that being Jeffrey Falkinburg and Brittany Palmer, who unfortunately stepped away from the project after getting a new position here at UNL. So Jeff brought in Justin Bradley and Jenna Huttenmeyer as additional insight, also feedback and ideas. We also have Melanie Kugler-Wright as our project manager, and Bhuvana Gopal as our tribe lead, and then Jason Rademacher as our tech reviewer. And now we'll go on to the development team. From left to right in this picture, we have Tyler Senny, our development manager. We have Connor Unger and Ryan Schumacher as additional developers. Parker Brown is our squad lead as well as our product manager. I have myself, and then the other Jackson Moshman, as our last 2 developers. This picture was taken on the field of Memorial Stadium. We had gone through a tour to get a lot of pictures of it for our app, which I will then hand it over to Tyler to talk more about.
All right, so the problem we were looking to solve is that the School of Computing wanted a more engaging way to perform STEM outreach for incoming students. And so our sponsors wanted us to create a virtual reality experience for the Oculus Quest 2, which is a standalone virtual reality headset, in order to serve this purpose. And something that was pretty unique about this project, aside from just the fact that it was in virtual reality, is that we were given a lot of freedom in how we chose to approach this problem and how we chose to solve it. And so for our solution that we built, the Husker STEM VR app was built using the Unity game engine, which is free to use. We opted to focus on creating 3 different activities based on the 3 majors offered by the School of Computing, those being computer engineering, computer science, and software engineering. And specifically, each activity focuses on the aspect of each major that we felt most differentiated them from each other, because this is a question that incoming students often have about the different majors, is what's different about them. And so for software engineering, we chose to focus on the testing and verification aspect of programs. For computer science, we chose to have students create a program from scratch. And for the computer engineering activity, that focuses on the hardware aspect, where players have to control robots through a maze. And additionally, all 3 of these activities are connected through a main hub area that we modeled after the east lobby of Memorial Stadium, which includes information videos about the School of Computing programs. And so here we have some screenshots of our solution. In the top left is the hub area I just mentioned. Those 3 portals that you can see lead to each of the 3 activities. Those are also the east gates that are pretty famous. And you can see in the background as well, there's some of those videos. One of them even talks about senior design. In the top right, we have the computer engineering activity. What you can see pictured is one of the mazes that the player has to complete in order to finish the activity. There's 3 mazes in total. Down in the bottom left, that is the computer science activity, which takes place in a press box up in Memorial Stadium. You can see the field from there. The goal of that activity is to use a coding system, a visual block-based coding system, to maneuver each of those 3 cameras that you can see to point at different spots on the field. And then in the bottom right, we have the software engineering activity, which also uses that same block coding system, where players have to debug a program that's already been given to them that controls some banners that can move up and down, and they have to fix issues that are related to that based on what the current weather is. And as of last week, the Husker STEM VR app has been released on both the Oculus Store and the SideQuest Store, and it's available for anyone to download and play for free. That QR code right there will actually take you to the Oculus page. And as for the value and highlights that our project has provided, in the week that it's been released, Husker STEM VR project has received about 500 views and over 40 downloads. Husker STEM VR, along with other VR senior design apps, will additionally be loaded onto a few different headsets and sent to various high schools in the area as part of UNL outreach and recruitment efforts. So students that go to their like guidance counselors and are looking to learn more about different career paths could potentially interact with our app there. And finally, our sponsor, Jeffrey Falkenberg, will also be talking about the app at a conference and at a school visit this summer. Now I'll pass it back to Jackson to talk about some of the lessons we learned.
Alrighty, thank you, Tyler. So we learned two real major lessons over the course of this project. The first being to set realistic expectations. This kind of relates back to the amount of freedom we were given at the start. We got a bit overambitious with what we wanted to accomplish, and as the year progressed, we had to dial back a lot of what we wanted to get done so that it was a bit more realistic and attainable within the year. The other one just kind of related to working in a larger team, as it was a bit of a new experience for a lot of us. We utilized a lot of agile practices to help kind of acclimate to this, but there was still a pretty steep learning curve. And with that, our presentation is over and we'll open the floor to any questions. All right, so the question was, what was our biggest challenge with working with VR? I guess personally from what I had witnessed, it would probably relate to translating the 2D Blocks Engine 2 asset we used for our activities from its state to a VR friendly state. Since I guess Tyler can talk a bit more about it as he was more involved with the actual translation process.
Yeah, so the block coding system that we showed there, that and we talked about a little bit, that was a system that we purchased off the Unity Asset Store. We thought it would speed up the development process, and I suppose it did to some degree, but we ran into a bunch of issues translating it to work in VR because originally that system was meant to only work on a flat two-dimensional screen with keyboard and mouse input. So that was probably the biggest issue we faced. Right. And then what's your second question? That's the idea behind it. That's why we chose a visual coding system for that. I know one of our things that we would have liked to improve given more time would probably be that system and giving the player more instruction on it. But the hope is that it is easy enough to use for anyone who's unfamiliar with it.